I wanted to do a quick check-in. This past week, it was obvious that the honeymoon period is over. So usually honeymoon periods in changes and new lives take about 2 months. And I knew with the dementia, it would probably be a little longer, and it was about 3 months. And we had a big, huge blowout. But then what was interesting is, of course, that blew over pretty quickly. We then had a situation where I realized that it's easy for caregivers to feel like they're being gaslighted. And what brought all this about was my mom. Again, we're always about the insomnia here. I should just call it the Insomnia Chronicles. Has been complaining about the bed mattress. It's too hard. She can't sleep. She wants to move. And so I ordered a feather bed. So I'd already ordered a memory foam topper, and she did well on that. She was sleeping fine. But then we had the big blowout again, and she insisted she wanted to move, and she hated me and all that sort of stuff. So I got a feather bed topper. We put the feather bed topper on top of the memory foam, and then it was too tall. She couldn't get into bed. So then and while we were doing that, I had her up there keeping me company. We were making the bed. And she goes, "I don't know why you got this." She goes, "I've been fine. I've been sleeping fine. All this has been working well. I didn't really need something new." And that's when the light came on. I'm a little slow, apparently, just living through this. And I realized, yeah, this can feel like gaslighting. This, very different personalities, very different feelings, very different perceptions of reality. And we know that dementia patients can get a form of psychosis, different things like that. So as a caregiver, it's tough. Anyway, she mentioned, as we were talking through it later on, the day after everything blew over, mentioned that she was lonely. She wanted people her age. And then we talked about some options about going to, like an adult daycare. I didn't call it that, of course, because that's really unpleasant. But I said, you can go off and do crafts and meet people. I said, but they'll be strangers to you, and probably strangers to you every time you go. And she said, no, she didn't want to do that. She didn't really. So I invited a couple of people from my husband's family, offered to give me a break. So I took advantage of that. And the first one was yesterday, and it was delightful. It was great. I just went to the good grocery store and spent a couple hours. You got a Starbucks. It was really all I needed and what I needed. And when I got back, I had a nice visit as well. And so that is what everybody's been suggesting, is that as a caregiver, I'm going to need to take care of myself. And I respect people who are operating as consultants to me, as it's really helpful, and I'm really grateful. So I'm really grateful for yesterday, and looking forward to the next break and the next visitor that we have at the house. And my mom is doing okay. I think we're running up against another cycle on her insomnia where some medication's going to have to change, at least the dosage, and we're going to have to kind of detox from a few things. And but I think it's starting to be long enough to where we can identify cycles and take measures that, at least for the short term, work. So I wish you the best. Please like and subscribe, and let me know if you've got suggestions, questions, comments. I'm always interested in what you're going through.